Generative AI is a new category of artificial intelligence that, just as it sounds like in the name, is able to generate new content based upon user prompts or queries or questions. The way that it works is that it is a model that's trained on the whole corpus of creative works that human beings have ever created, anything on the internet, anything in libraries, anything art museums and galleries, text, images, audio, video, etc. And so generative AI has taken all this information in, and it really has begun to understand kind of what it means to create a human creative work. So when somebody gives it a prompt or a query, it can mimic what it thinks a human might respond and provide a response that looks like it's generated, it's novel, it's new, and it looks like it was created by a human being. Generative AI is going to have the capability to drive back office efficiencies. So assisting your existing staff, not replacing them, but augmenting their capabilities to remove some of the repetitive work. For example, if you are talking to a customer on a Zoom or a recorded phone call or whatever, generative AI could help take notes on that call and record what the next steps might be. Generative AI is going to be something that's going to provide the capability to scale personalization and scale interactions that an FI or financial institution may be able to have with their consumers. So that's something that you really need to start to begin to strategize about. All the research we see shows that consumers do expect personalized experience, and they expect their FI to know them. It's not realistic to have an army of customer representatives that are interacting with consumers. You're not having those conversations in the branch. So something like generative AI is down the road something that can help to deliver that scale of personalization. Generative AI with ChatGPT really in just the last 9 months has entered the cultural zeitgeist. Everyone's talking about it, everybody's played with it. And it's, again, just in many ways like the iPod reset was not a new category of an MP3 player that existed, but it reset the level that people expected from design. I think that generative AI has had a similar resetting of customer expectations, and businesses are going to have to pretty soon begin to deliver that to their customers, or they're going to risk falling behind. As a bank, my number one concern using generative AI would be putting the guardrails in place for what's going to come out of the model. Generative AI is incredible in that it's ingesting, like I said, all the content that human beings have created, a ton of information. Even if I pointed at my internal documentation, I still want to have some monitoring and reviews and accountability for what the generative AI is producing, and likely put the impetus on my team or my staff that you might be getting coaching or responses from generative AI, but it's up to you to validate that those responses are correct before you make any serious decision making or certainly send anything out to an account holder. Banks can start to go down the path of implementing generative AI by taking 2 key steps. The first is put in a content curation and governance process. The reason I say that is that generative AI, the large language models, are already pre-trained on billions of documents and all the text and songs that human beings have created, and so they really understand how to interact and to deliver responses to prompts. But what they don't know is that last mile, the information about your specific bank. And so you need to train the large language model or the generative AI with that information so that you've put in information that you're hoping is going to come back out. The second thing is, as an FI going down the path of implementing generative AI, is I would really look to partner. This is an emerging technology. It's changing very, very quickly. New versions of these models are coming out on a seemingly quarterly basis with new capabilities. There is an entire ecosystem of large companies down to startups who are investing in this space to make it work really well. You're not going to be able to match that as a financial institution. So I think the best strategy is, 1, get your content in shape so that it's ready, because you're going to need that regardless. That's something you can control. But 2, start to evaluate partners. Start to think about what you want from partners, so you can deliver generative AI in a way that meets your business objectives and satisfies your risk and compliance team.